Everything I need to know, I learned in kindergarten.
Your turn.
What do you want me to say?
Quote, anything.
Quote. There you go.
No, that was so horrible. Come on, dog.
Everything Dave learned, he learned in kindergarten.
I'll tell you when to start up, alright?
Alright. Off the meters.
If you want, you can film while I'm setting up stuff too. I don't care. I just wanted you to know what I was ready to do.
Imagine how Brinker feels.
Maybe I'll cut this up so it won't be so.
Blowing shit up.
It sucks, man. As soon as I turn it.
Is it easier doing it barefoot, though?
Yeah, I feel more at home. Sometimes I go out on barefoot. Sinister was doing that this weekend.
What?
Mr. Sinister from the X-Men, he was DJing with just his socks on. I was like, dude, you do like I do. That's funny. He was tripping on that. Film on this next one. I'm just waking up, man.
That was the warm up?
I woke up right when you called, man, is when I turned off the sleep mode and went into.
That was the warm up?
Yeah.
Family feeling. You want to rewind? You want to read that so you get. Go ahead. me see that record.
Let's see. What's your name again, man? What's your name again? Terry?
David.
David? I thought you said Terry. Oh, where hell? I got David from Terry.
Hey, on my,
All right, Dave, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Damn. This is my oral report right here.
Just let him do the talk.
Yo, look at this guy.
Just watch the video.
And if you want, we could talk about equipment and stuff like that. Stuff I prefer. I'm sure you want to get into that kind of stuff. It makes a big difference with all that. This would be really good in the report. Like equipment-wise, you know, what you need and shit.
Oh, like-
makes so much of a difference. As you know, man, when we were just fucking with your shit. That's real, though. I went through all that, man. Hang on one sec, Dave. Fixed. Sucks. Alright, you ready, dude?
Yeah.
I got you.
Are you ready to take this one?
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Start this over. Ready, D?
Mm-hmm.
It might be hard to hear it over that because it like primarily feeds off of bass sound, so it might be hard to hear it on the camera. But
What?
let me do this.
What? Musical miracle right there. Damn.
Did you get that on tape?
Yeah.
Cool. It's a little simple.
I'd like to see a little back.
I did the rubber band thing with Cuba. He was loving it.
I could see that. Beautiful. So that was just like average kind of like, compared to like Numark.
To me, yeah. I don't know. I was.
My goodness.
Yeah. I'm gonna try doing this like this.
Look at
Man.
the dude on this side. This jingle is this side.
I should try that. Yeah, my speakers can't hang with it. But like at big shows, this shit's like a big 808, you know? You can get different sounds off of shit like this.
The needle hears that?
Mm-hmm.
I would have never thought of that.
Alright, I'm gonna get back to some cutting.
That's all good, do your thing.
I gotta figure out a way to play drums. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck with that later. You ready, man?
Got it.
That's
Keep
cool.
it down, you're too loud. This is quiet, I'm recording. I've always had people complain for sound.
Not that neighborhood. You ever get annoyed with his house stuff?
Not really. He doesn't have bumps like I do, so it's kind of... Hey, Charlie, that's what he'll do with us. He'll do it with us. Everybody else is like, fun.
Chilling. It's Numark's crib.
Had a bunch of yellow bellies.
You get the records in the back right there? Yeah. Line in the walls. Not even walls here, it's just records.
I got a character that sounds just like that. His name is Mauricio.
Records and turntables.
Who's this? No, you got it. I got a character that named Mauricio.
Don't waste the battery,
What?
though. Don't waste the battery, though. Lame, miserable. That's cool.
Fucking fingers, Charlie. So we gotta get Nat saying like, yeah, his fucking fingers. Fight the fingers. What is he doing? Is he doing that already?
Back over that counter, boy. Get the boots, see that? Flat out. 12s right there. Fuck it.
Alright, so I'll see you fucking goofballs there.
I do the finger
Now
thing
it's
again.
on. No. You know, wait.
That one over. So what happens? You got to show this in front of the class now?
No, I'm probably not going to show the interview. I'm probably going to show
Okay,
the
just the footage of the scratching, and then this you're just going to have to type up.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So keep it clean, man.
I will. No,
No?
you type it up so I can keep it dirty.
You can edit
Alright,
it.
fucking do it.
That's
Just be real.
You need to be clean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to cuss anyway. I'm not going to do all that. It's unnecessary roughness.
All that crazy stuff. Alright. Alright, let's start the interview then. Here with Numark. What's the date right there?
21st?
22nd?
22nd. February
22nd.
22nd. 725 in Sunset Boulevard. Alright.
Live at Uncle New's house.
Yeah, Uncle New's house. Numark's, the rabbit. Alright, let's start the interview. Alright. Since you gave me that question, who are your first influences?
First influences for as DJs, my first influences were Mixmaster Ice from UTFO. A little bit later on, DJ Aladdin.
All those ones.
Of course, Grandmaster Flash.
I remember.
And of course, Grandmaster Theodore.
Okay.
Grandmaster Theodore.
Okay. When did you get your first turntables and how?
My first turntables, I
This is
actually
like what you
started
saw.
off on my mom's. It was like a one-piece stereo.
Yeah.
You know, receiver at the bottom with all the round knobs at the bottom, like the 4 round knobs for volume, balance, and treble.
Equalizer.
And then above that, above that had the turntable built in on top.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I would be up there messing my mom's needles up, and she'd be coming home like, "You're messing, my music up. You're scratching the record," and
So when did you get like your first set like
My
that?
first set, I got a pair of servos. They were called Technique servos, and I got that in my first year of high school. So it would be 10th grade, yeah. In 10th grade, I got them, and we just started mixing. They were belt drives, so they kind of, when you threw a song in or you cued a song in, it kind of went and kind of rolled in after that.
When did you start like being a professional?
I don't know when that time actually happened.
Just so
I don't know. I mean, it's been just so many years of just DJing and doing house parties and carrying a lot of equipment to clubs and house parties and whatever else. And I think after a while you just become used to what you're doing and become comfortable with what you're doing.
So when did you realize that you want to do this for the rest of your life?
Well, I was actually studying to be an X-ray tech, and about 2 months away from graduating school, I decided I didn't want to do it. But I was 2 months away from graduating, and I just decided not only was my grades really slipping, but I was constantly thinking about music in class, so I was never really focused on.
So you
I didn't want to take other people's lives in my hands. If I'm going to be working in the hospital, that was the other side of it, I didn't want to take other people's lives in my hands and shortchange them of whatever health care they could get that was appropriate for them. But for me, I was constantly thinking about rhythms in class, because before I even touched turntables, I was a drummer. So before I even got my first pair of turntables, I had a drum machine. Actually, this is my first drum machine right here. Grab it for the rabbit. This is a Roland 606 drum machine. I got this in junior high. This is before I got to high school. I went to. It's a little dusty right now.
Your mom would get you all that?
What was that? No. Well, I saved up a lot of times. Like I did chores and stuff. And yeah, she bought me stuff essentially.
Oh, so you knew about all the technical side already?
Well, no. Did I buy all the technical side already?
No, did you have a knowledge of it?
Yeah, just from looking at records and stuff like that. Like I would go into place and be like, I want this turntable right here, or like I would, I finally got the serial number for like 1200s. After a long time, just asking people. But with drum machines, I would have to explain the sounds to people. Actually, I never really showed anybody a picture. I just would show them. I would tell them the sounds that I was looking for, and they would, cue me in the right direction. But this is the first thing I got, and then from this, I got some turntables.
Yeah, became a world-class DJ. All right. So
I don't know about world class.
You don't consider yourself world class?
No, I don't know. I don't know what I consider. I just consider myself a DJ.
That's pretty
It's happy
sick right there. The rubber band? Come on now. Nobody else is doing that? Yeah. So how'd you get your first break into the business?
Wow, that's a really good question.
Just doing shows?
Just really DJing a lot. I got exposed a lot to DJing the scene. Really, Jurassic was the first real kind of break, though, like being noticed as a group.
That was like your first?
Jurassic 5, yeah. But, I mean, as far as just being recognized, it's just been from DJing. I'd have to say somewhere around the time of just, when I hit around 21, 22 years old.
Just doing shows?
Around the time, yeah, just doing a lot of shows and just DJing at clubs like, like Cool Keith came into town, and he hadn't been in town for, since he was an Ultramagnetic. And it had been a long time since he performed. It was when he put out the Four Horsemen record. When that show went on at Carlos and Charlie's in Hollywood, that was like a really big thing for me. He was like definitely one of my favorite MCs at that time, especially. So they came out as Ultramagnetic, and they did the Ultramagnetic set, and did Papa Large, and everybody went nuts. So I was over there DJing that. That was cool. There's a bunch of events that went on in LA. There was a club in particular, though, called the Rat Race. And it was a place where everybody would go up on stage and just improvise. It's really cool. That's where I met Cut Chemist and the rest of my group as well.
History, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was, everybody's style kind of gelled together and stuck.
About to drop that super hot album, Jurassic 5. Ain't that right? Alright. So just doing shows, really.
Yeah.
Alright. So, could you describe, like, the various major DJ competitions out there?
Well, there's DMC competition, and then there's ITFs. Those are the most prominent ones, really. I'm sure there's other ones. There's always local ones that go down, like, every now and then Elements might throw a DJ battle, or, Fat Beats might throw a DJ battle of some sort. Certain companies get into it, but ITF and DMC are really the main.
Have you ever won one?
No, I never even entered it. I was gonna enter in my senior year of high school, but like I said before, I started out like doing beats first, and so like the production side of it's always pulled me away. Like this is my second love. My first love is making beats and production. Yeah.
So you never battled anybody?
Yeah, I always used to battle. I always used to battle for money, and I never lost either. I mean, I would battle in the years when I was in 11th grade and senior year of high school, and first year of college, and then I'd stop. I would just win like in LA shows and like there were shows in the Valley. They used to do a lot of DJ battles actually in the Valley. There's a lot of different spots, you know. But I never entered in the DMC. I had figured, you know, well, I could spend a lot of time practicing and just keep reworking this art, or I can get more into what I really, my first love, which is, you know, production. So, you know how that goes.
But you could serve anybody, right?
No. No. There's cats that are really good out there right now.
All right.
But I mean, you know, I can definitely stand on my own too. You know, like if I know I have to battle, I'll be all right. But if it's just like some sort of like pop-up event and someone's belt, that can always, you never know how that can go. You know? I've seen MCs that are the greatest MCs in the world get dissed because they weren't ready to battle. But then I've seen MCs that I didn't think were going to win, but they knew they were going to battle, and they came and they killed it. So, like, part of the battle is actually your training time. So, if you have training time, then it's cool, you know.
Are they like really competitive, like the battles? Like, are they really heated?
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of great ones lately, just because I haven't been out a lot to see them. But you know, there's been some legendary battles. You know, like the X-Men versus the Scratch Pickles. I mean, I've seen that on videotape, and I wasn't there, unfortunately. I was on tour when that happened, and I saw the videotape later, and I was like, it was a bloodbath.
I'll take the pickles.
It was like real.
I'll take the pickles.
Yeah.
Well, who actually won?
X-Men did a great performance in Canadian Front. They both did really good, but I lean more towards the Pickles because Hubert did this one thing. He was just, well, he was doing his Rock the Bells routine. That was the first time I seen it. It was really good. So I'd have to give it up for that.
Yeah, I gotta go see this competition now. All right. How do you feel about like in pop music and rock? There's a lot of DJs trying integrating all the groups and stuff. How do you feel about
in pop and rock? You mean?
Like in Limp Bizkit or like.
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think. You know, that's the cool thing about DJing. You know, it's like it's an unspoken heard art. You know what I mean? It's like there's no words behind it, and you can taint it by overexposing it to commercials and stuff, like Coca-Cola commercials and shit like that.
Sesame Street.
IHOP and all kinds of shit. I guess you can overexpose it to some degree, but you know, the bottom line is the DJ's been here since day one. You know, and you don't have really much without the DJ. You know, you can have a dad on stage, and you can have.
Also, you would say they're more important than the MC?
I think they're definitely the backbone of hip hop. You know, like that's what actually dilated people always say. But I mean, it's the DJ is the maestro. I mean, you hear. Let's put it this way. If I were to listen to a song, what attracts me to a song is the beat more than the rhymes or the lyrics. Just because that's my upbringing. But I do think there's a lot of people out there that think that way. And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot more instrumental albums than there are a cappella albums.
Yeah, there are.
Right? You know, you'll hear, you know, whether it be house music, techno, hip hop, rock, soul, jazz. I mean, you hear tons of instrumental jazz music. You know, so I mean, for me personally, it's always been more the music thing. But I love lyrics, and I think lyrics can bring about a whole new meaning to a song. Yeah, they could really put the cherry on top in a second. They could twist it in a whole other direction and give it a feel that you never thought would even, ever exist. So it's kind of a give and take, with that.
All right, let's see. How hard is it to master this? Like, how often do you practice? How much would you say?
I just practice when I feel like it. And then I practice when I'm not at my turntables. I practice in my head a lot.
Oh, yeah?
So, because, again, going back to percussion and drums, I'll think of rhythms while I'm driving, and I'll tap them out or whatever. And sometimes cuts like that come to me, I'll think of a pattern or I'll think of an idea I want to do with the turntables. For me, that's practicing, because that's half of the battle is coming up with something that has been done, or,
Like when you first started this, you're still amateur, how often would you say
practicing? I was practicing a lot more back then because I needed to get my dexterity up in my hands. There was muscles that I'm using now that I never used in the past.
Like hours and hours?
Yeah, no, every day. I mean, I'd come home from high school, I'd do my homework and go right to the turntables, every night. Every night.
All night too, huh?
Yeah. When I first got these, and I stayed up the whole night playing doubles of Planet Rock. Just doubles of it, just cutting it up. I couldn't believe how well the turntables handled, because I had those really crappy turntables before, the belt drive servos.
Oh, did you that mix you gave me? Could you cut stuff up like that?
No, not really. I mean, I could cut. I could definitely cut on it, but it's I'm getting used to this now, so it's a different story.
Well, you couldn't do all the little super tricks.
Nah, not like the little crabs and stuff I was doing, all the different clicks.
Okay. All right. How many techniques are there really, would you say?
There's infinite. I mean, not infinite, but there's a lot. I mean, I could never name them, but I mean, as far as how many scratches are or how many techniques of...
Just like, yeah, different scratches.
Well, there's a lot of different scratches. You have, you know, you'll have a craft scratch, you know. Well, let's start from the beginning. Let's start.
Would you like to
a
do an
basic,
example of them right now?
like a, I can't do all of them. I really
Just do
can't.
like the main ones
Yeah.
that you would hear.
You want to get this on video? The
Oh,
different-
yeah. All right. I'm moving up.
You know what you should use for this, dude? You know what you should use for this
What?
portion really is the Beat Junkies tape when they show how to do each scratch. I think it's the one of the Beat Junkies tape.
The beat jump.
Go to Fat Beats, man, this week, and ask
Alright.
Carlos over there and say, yo, I want to see the tape where they show each scratch because I'm doing a documentary. Let them know that I sent you too.
Alright.
Because they go through each one just like this. They have a camera footage and they go, one click fair PM every night. They changed their hours when I left, so I don't know what's going on over there.
I might hit that up before I go home. All right. What is the most important thing to remember when you're trying to really get into the music industry?
Very first thing is your attitude. You got to have a really open-minded attitude, and you got to be willing to be just not accepted, pretty much.
Optimistic.
You got to be pretty much willing to accept that you're going to be the outcast or not accepted for a long time until you really prove yourself. And even when that happens, you still got a long road ahead of you. So that's the true mental mindset you have to be in. The second thing is, like we talked about before, was it's practicing. You definitely have to stay on your craft and keep your sword sharp, so to speak. The third is never really give up, because it's always going to be someone out there telling you can't do this because this, and this. There's always going to be skeptical, folks out there that are just like, nah, it's not going to happen because this. You need a backup plan. You need to do this. The list goes on for days and days, But I mean, if you set your mind to anything, you can do it. If you say, I'm claiming that, I want to be the best DJ in the world, I'm going to claim that. I'm claiming that. If you claim it in your mind and you believe it, you'll be it. I'm convinced of that. I've experienced a lot of situations like that where I just said, okay, I got to claim it in my mind, and if I don't, I'm going to lose it. So.
And originality is pretty important too. But
Definitely originality. Well, no, not necessarily. Not to make it. No. It depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to, it depends what kind of artist you're trying to be. Because there's tons of unoriginal artists out there that are getting paid trillions of dollars. And there's unoriginal business people that just go follow a method every time.
Standard,
Yeah, they just, like A&R people at a record company, they say, okay, I'm looking for someone who sounds like Jay-Z. If I get a Jay-Z song and I get a Premier song, I'm good. And that means I can market to the top 40 cats, and I can market to the underground, and then now we got a good record. That for me is a no-brainer. That's just like filling in the gaps where it's always been. It's just like, okay, A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, and you're out.
That's garbage, right?
Depends who you are. The masses, like that kind of stuff. So it depends depends what success is really to you. That's what it really comes down to. Now, for me, success is doing something that...
It's like getting respect.
No.
Creating
Success is my internal happiness. Is my like when someone calls another artist a sellout, I always question what they mean, because they're saying it, so he can't be a sellout. If you're a sellout, that means that you're I have to say that you're really, I'm going to phrase this the right way. You're jeopardizing your own morals and values. Like you're saying to yourself, you know what? I believe in this. I believe in apples and oranges, but I'm going to go with pears and bananas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're going against. You're saying I don't want. I'm cool with how I thought of before. What I thought of before, and what I really believe in. I'm going to do this because I need to make some chips. Or I need to do this because I need to, the dollar sign has you wrapped in a headlock, pretty much, That's my idea of a sellout, or jeopardizing your style. So there's people who like to be original, and for me, I like to just go and, like you said, be original and just practice my craft and I try to break ground, If I can break ground, that would mean the world to me, yeah. And I guess respect and all that comes later, but, people respect really strange things. There's in Los Angeles alone, there's over 50,000 satanic worshipers.
Yeah.
You know, they believe in that, and I can't fathom that. You know, so it depends what it is.
All right. Let's see. How do you feel about the success of just albums based on turntables, like Q-Berts or mics or DJ Shadows?
Repeat that again, man?
How do you feel about their success?
I think it's great. I think it's really good, actually. Especially with Q-Bert, with the scratch pickles, you know, they've lifted their expenses, what they cost to go do their show, you know, is pretty high, you know, and so it's bringing the art up, like it's valuable. Like a DJ before, you know, believe it or not, you know, DJs would just go out for a bag of weed. You know, like there's DJs I know that'll play records for a bag of weed.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like selling yourself so short, you know, and it's just completely degrading to the art of what's going on to me. You know, if that's what you need, that's what you need, whatever, but, you know, there has to be business behind it. That's why they call it music business.
So it's like better to go into the albums and instead of just like keeping it on stage.
What do you mean, keeping it?
It's better to like, you know, like to just move into like CDs. You know, some people would say like keep it like a stage art.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They don't sell like tapes of like plays. They don't sell it for like home videos.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's another situation, to each his own type of thing, you know?
Yeah, alright.
Fine.
Let's see. What enables the turntables to emit such a wide variety of sounds?
The turntable is the only infinite instrument. It's the only infinite instrument, except for a sampler. But a sampler is more of a home production type thing. You can use it for external use and playing out stage and stuff like that. But the turntable is the only infinite instrument. There's trillions upon trillions of sounds from the past, from the 30s, the 40s, even earlier, the 20s. You can get to 78s. And there's going to be trillions and billions and zillions of sounds when we're dead and gone. So it's the only infinite instrument. It's like, just in this room right here, I got maybe, 10,000, 50,000 records in this whole house, and I got another 20,000 at my mother's. I mean, that right there, that's a lot of instruments. You can go through, a lot of sounds in that time, whether it be drums, horns, xylophones, tubas, harps, harpsichords, whatever it is, it's the only infinite instrument. So that's what makes it really appealing to me, because, again, going back to percussion, I'm into the whole percussive aspect of it and the whole using it for production, and it's a really cool instrument. Now the question of getting to all those instruments quickly is the next thing. Being able to shuffle in and cue up to those sounds is that's the hardest part.
How do you feel? How has turntablism changed music? How has turntablism changed the musical feel?
Wow, it's changed in a lot of ways. Repetition.
You mean like a loop beat?
I think that's the most important thing about the turntable. It taught people how to repeat something, make it. You think of repeating something and you're like, I've heard it already, but it's different with music. It's
like a loop.
Like a loop.
Yeah.
Like a chorus to a song, like a drum beat just looping. There's something about repetition that's appealing to people. And yeah, it gives you time to examine the 2 bars worth of material and all the textures in that phrase. And sit back and just remember it later on. There's a lot of positives to repetition, but when cats like Grandmaster Flash and Theodore and all the original old schoolers that pretty much pioneered the DJing thing back in the day, when they would be playing at parties, they would find the best part in the record, which is called the break. That's where you get the word breaks. The breakdown, B-boys, break boy. That all comes from that one break in the record where they would just repeat it. So you'd have maybe a disco song going, definitely a disco song going, and it'd break into so the DJ's job would be just keep repeating the best parts of the records, and that's how repetition came along. That's what the turntables became really useful for, and people would be like, whoa,
This is like the
Grandmaster
foundation.
Flash, pretty much invented the whole queuing system. He was an electronics major. He had a degree in electronics.
He like invented it?
He invented a system which he called the peekaboo system.
Oh, where you hear the thing?
Yeah, you can hear it in your headphones. The peekaboo system is like queuing in your headphones. So basically, like, so if this, I don't have my headphones here. Let me get them out. But while this is playing, Flash is hearing this side already in his headphones, so he's finding the best part. He wants to play. He may want to be like, and throw something in right at that point. So he can cue it in his headphones. So he invented that. So that's like major breakthrough right there. Yeah, that's definitely revolutionary. Especially when everybody was taught at that age, and even now, a turntable is something you put on and you walk away from. You don't touch the needle. You don't do,
Yeah.
It's always been like.
That's the other side of the argument.
Exactly. Oh yeah, it is. Definitely.
Hey, music mention. Plays music. All right. How does scratching start?
How does scratching start?
Yeah.
Grand Wizard Theodore invented it. Grand Wizard Theodore was scratching in his room, and I've heard two stories. The most recent one I heard from him on a videotape was he was in his room mixing, and there was somebody else with him. I forget who it was, but it might have been Herc, might have been Cool Herc, but I'm not sure. But anyway, he was mixing in his room, and his mother came in and told him to turn it down, and he said what? And he stopped the music with his hand, and it made this sound. It made this sound. Like he was holding it, so it was like
an accident.
Yeah, like he goes, what? He goes like that. He said, what, Mom? He holds it with his hand, but he's leaving the cue on, so he can hear all this, a little mess. And she's telling him to turn it down. So when door closes, when he goes back to mixing, his boy's like, man, you need to go do what you were doing before. And I heard another story where he heard it, and he said, wow, that was cool. But there was another story where his boy said, yo, you should do that again. He just kept involved in it with that.
It's just an accident.
Yeah. Most great things
Started
are
off. Yeah.
creative things.
Alright. How do you feel like turntablism has changed since the beginning?
Oh, wow, in so many ways. Well, there's a lot of facets to that. There's, from the beginning, like I said, they would find the breaks in disco records and soul records, repeat the best parts for the people in the parks, and eventually that turned into looping. People would be like, whoa, let's do that, put it in a computer, and not have to worry about that all the time, just do cuts. And then, of course, scratches and blending came. Well, blending came along first. That was the original. Blending one song has the same tempo as another song. That's a whole art in itself. That should be the first thing you learn as a DJ. Is how to blend one song with another song, or blend the same song with each other to know what beats sound like when they're mixed together. After that, you have repetitions, or sometimes they call them flashing. Grandmaster Flash, he invented flashing or repetitions. So, that kind of thing. And then, of course, scratches. There's so many types of scratches now. Start off really simple. Start off with chirps. Just, really like choppy sounds, and then it moved on and moved on and moved on to Jazzy Jeff and Cash Money. He said to invented the transform scratch. There's so much stuff out there. The Flare invented the Flare. You have Orbits, who was, I don't know exactly who invented it. It was said that this computer came up with crabs.
So it's like new scratches like every month.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's an infinite instrument. It really
so
is.
It came a long way.
Yeah.
All right. How do you think the turntable is comparable to earlier music instruments like the electric guitar? Do you think you can compare it?
Yeah, I could totally compare it. One thing like what I showed you with the rubber band thing. You can, all the needle is a mic, it's a pickup. Just like a pickup in a guitar, just like a pickup in a microphone. It's an amp. It's like an amp. So you can, I've connected, before Cuba was doing it, actually before I even knew he was doing it, I was connecting my mixer to a wah-wah pedal, like a guitar player.
Oh, yeah?
Play, and the sound would be like, just like, doing the wah-wah sound, like a guitar. So I could totally compare it to guitar. That's probably one of the easier instruments to compare it to for me, because I deal with vibration.
Like electrical sounds.
Yeah, you can get you got cueing on it. You can do a lot.
Infinite instrument. How does the future look for like turntables?
It's becoming harder and harder to come up with new stuff, but I think it's always going to be around. It's, it was said in like '93 that records would go out and all that stuff, and like it's just funny. It only went out on the rock side, like only rock stopped pressing stuff, but dance music and hip hop they still press records.
You think it'll ever rise into like pop radio?
Turntable music in pop radio depends what the song is. It'll always depend what the song is, because you got to do a lot to make an instrumental hit anything, jazz album, rock, anything.
I mean, like, not many radio shows would play just a basic turntable song.
A lot of turntable work can get annoying. And you can have people who scratch too much, in a song. It's a delicate instrument. It's not like, the sound of a scratch isn't really crazy appealing, actually. It doesn't sound good on your ears unless you do it with a lot of finesse, and it's hard to get that. It's really hard to get that.
So you think it'll ever rise? You just think it just depends on the song?
I don't know. It depends on the song. Depends on the song.
What about like the culture? You think it'll like expand to like more heads?
Yeah.
Alright, what's for dinner, man?
That's the last question. What's for dinner?
I don't ate. Have you ate?
No.
We had stuff. Yeah.
I gotta go to the laundromat, do my laundry. Let's eat out.
No dinner.
That's what's for dinner.
No dinner.
Detergent. Yeah. So turn that bad boy on.
Let's talk about the elements right here.
What am I using today? 44. Alright, is that thing on?
Yeah. Yep.
This is a Technique 1200 turntable. It's been around since, I believe, '79. It's an old turntable, but it's the most durable turntable that I know, even better than some of the new stuff out right now made by Vestex. But there are some really good turntables out there, but this is my favorite. And it'll always be my favorite because it's the original DJ tool, the original durable DJ tool. These are the needles I use. I use Shure M44G. Shure makes microphones. They're very well known for making microphones, and they make the best needle right now, in my opinion. They're pretty loud too. They have really good sonic sound to them. This is the mixer I prefer to use, and it's one of the better mixers. It's called a Vestex 05 Pro. This is the fader. They make the faders extremely loose in this mixer, where you can do a lot of different tricks and get your dexterity on. The lines feel really good. They have a decent equalizer on it. The volume control is pretty good. They have, they're the first to come out with a way to cut the sound, a way to trim the sound in different ways. This button right here can dictate if I want the sound to come in sharp by using the fader or smooth by using the fader. So when I have this knob turned all the way clockwise to the right, it goes, if you look at where my index finger is, if I just move the fader over just a little bit like that, you'll hear the whole sound. Here, I'll turn it up a little bit. So you're hearing the whole sound, and I only have the fader over just a little bit. So now if I move this... Yeah, one of the first I believe to do that, yeah. But if I move the sound, if I move the cut-in time all the way to the left, counterclockwise, if I move it in that same part, it's really low.
And you gotta turn it off.
Yeah, it fades in. And that's good for blending songs together, And this is better for cutting. This is better for blending. So they were one of the first to do that. They're also one of the first. There's a lot of DJs who learn how to mix backwards, or I don't know if that's right to say backwards, but basically.
Hamster.
Yeah, it's called hamster. But basically, if you move the fader this way, it's going to play this turntable. If you move it this way, it's going to play this turntable. I don't have the needle on that turntable right now, and that's why you're not hearing it. But there's DJs who learn opposite. They learned it like that. That's called hamster style. There's a switch on this that enables you to do that. So that's that on that. That's pretty much what I use for equipment as far as turntables go.
So but those are the basic elements.
That's
for,
the
like,
basic elements, yeah.
Just 2 turntables,
Mhm.
no mixer.
All mixer is really volume controls. That's all you really need to know. It's a bunch of different volume controls.
Volume controls, putting all those meters on there?
Yeah. You know what you should put in your report also, man, is how important record collecting is.
Record collecting.
When did you start collecting?
Since I was a little kid. I still have my Big Bad Wolf record since I was 4.
Like before you started?
Yeah.
DJing?
Consciously, same time. Like consciously digging, same time is when I first started really. When I was on my mom's turntable messing her stuff up, that's when I started getting a lot of records.
Like my Transformer record, my He-Man record.
Oh, really?
Classic.
No, I think if anything's really important, I think your collection is really important. That's probably the most important thing in DJing, is your collection.
Yeah.
Digging in records. Like I always dig for records at record fairs. I'm up at 5 a.m. every, last and first Sunday of every month. I'm up digging in the colleges for records everywhere. So I think that's the most important thing, because those are your instruments.
Those are your sounds.
Yeah.
Nice. How much do you think like companies actually like capitalize on this DJ thing?
They do a good job. I don't know.
Like, oh, you don't really know about the.
I don't know
industry of
what kind of money Vestex is making. If you're asking about people who make equipment,
Yeah.
I really don't know how well they're doing, but they should be doing pretty good because they're inventing like record lathes, things
Do
to
you think
make
companies
records.
have like divisions like just for turntable, like dealers type stuff?
Yeah, Vestex is doing that right now. Definitely, it's a big thing.
So like they're actually like catering to the DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Most people are right now, artists included. A lot of people cater to DJs. It's one of the few art forms where 500 people can hear one song at one time. If you think about it, you can't do that with a CD, unless it's on the radio,
Yeah.
But that's different. That's not even a CD they're playing. It's like those are cards. They put them on cards. But a record is really powerful. It's extremely powerful. And personally, I think it has better sound than a CD. I've always thought that. I have a lot of people who think the same. It's warmer. It's an analog sound where CD's digital. It's more like linear, and you don't get that much warmth in the bass. But I like crackles and records. I'm into all that shit.
That's the heart of the record right there.
Yeah.
I heard that. Yes, turntable lessons.
You guys got enough goods? Anything else you wanna?
I'm thinking. Because like when you come back, like probably gotta be done. So like this is like.
You should ask me what kind of stuff I collect. What kind of records?
Yeah, what kind of records do you collect?
I collect everything. I collect. Only type of music I really am not into is country music. But
that is like the universal answer right there.
It's true. I collect really strange things. I collect, soul music, There's a soul record, independent. I love independent stuff. It's my favorite stuff. Records that look like this. Gary Bart's one of my favorite jazz musicians. I love 45s. Jimmy Smith record. That's jazz. That's soul. That's jazz. I like rock because they have really good drums.
The record right there you're cutting out?
This is a break record called Super Duck Breaks, made by my friend Babu and the Beat Junkies.
DJ Babu.
And then I like hip hop, which is what I was playing on this side.
Right there.
Yeah. You can. Then I like really strange things like this.
Like sound effects?
I'll show you. Fat Albert.
Yeah.
Hold on to that. Peter and the Wolf, these are like all the cartoons I grew up
And the
whatever
Oh.
they admired when I was a kid. Yeah, of course, Sesame Street. It has a bunch of instruments on it.
Oh,
This is a record with all video games, old video games like Defender and Asteroids and Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
All the classic, they go on. It's just a guy playing a video game, so I like stuff like that. Superman record, I love the art on these. I love the logos on these. Pretty
You
cool.
don't get that with CDs.
Yeah, you don't.
The art.
No, and you don't. It's harder. It's a lot harder to see the art. This kind of stuff.
Oh, is this like a narrative right here?
Yep. This is an old television show called Zoom. Some of you older cats out there might know. That was the
Kid
show. It was a
show.
kid show. Really good. It was like Romper Room. Jetsons. You know?
Alright.
Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Alright.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It was a cool album.
Yeah,
This one came with a poster. Look at that in there.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
Can't get that on CD.
I have some better looking ones though. This one just some scratching service. This one came with a poster I need to hang up. I'm a Spider-Man fan.
You see that?
Oh.
Rock comic. A rock comic right there. Fresh.
Yes, sir.
Alright, my stomach is rumbling right about now. You want some any food or something?
No, I'm good, man. I'm gonna go to the laundromat.
Just gonna get.
Oh, wait, let me get that.
This would be good for your class, man.
It's
knowledge.
It is knowledge.
It's knowledge.
I should bring that to the night.
That's cool.
Oh, here you go.
Should bring that to Burp right there.
Burp would dig that.
Yeah. Burp would describe that.
Kojak record.
Kojak.
The artwork on this is really cool.
We got a little comic.
The old comics. Look at that.
That was your comics right there?
Yeah, I collect comics too.
Really?
That's why I'm into this job.
So that sort of brought you into DJing too?
Wow.
You ever go to like comic conventions?
No, not anymore. I don't collect comics anymore. Actually, I stopped.
Yeah, I used to do that. Damn, what did I do?
Oh, cool pictures in here.
I don't know.
So where you guys gonna go eat?
I don't know, man. I am crumbling.
Yeah, can you, when I get back, man, just if you want to ask me any more questions, it's cool.
Hungry wolf. I'm ready to eat like a whole